to talk about tonight. The Trump administration deports and says no backsies. Biden's pardons might need their own pardon. And Lewis Black screams about plane safety like a Southwest passenger who got overserved. So, let's get right into it.
I'm going to come.
Now, one of Trump's big promises for his second term was deporting violent immigrants from America, and he often mentioned one violent gang in particular.
Tren de Aragua.
Remove the savage gang, Tren de Aragua.
Tren de Aragua.
Tren de Arguay.
Tren de Aragua! You know, the members of that gang are like, is that us he's talking about? Trump sounds like my grandfather ordering Chipotle. I'll take the Barbara Ochoa! Buenos nachos! And over the weekend, Trump announced he was deporting hundreds of these suspected Venezuelan gang members all the way back to El Salvador. So, close enough. And of course, these suspected gang members would be afforded a rigorous legal procedure, including a trial, the presentation of evidence, and all the rights of due process. I'm just with you. He did a Trump.
The administration invoking an obscure law, the Aliens Enemies Act of 1798, which allows the government to deport people with little to no due process, and was last used to round up Japanese Americans during World War II.
Last used to round up Japanese Americans during World War II. Why does Trump always have to pick the oldest, most racist laws to do what he wants to do? I'm cutting taxes under the authority of the It's Okay to Drown Italians law of 1863. It's not just that it's archaic. Invoking that law has some big problems. One is that if you're deporting gang members, but there's no due process, then you don't really know if you're deporting gang members. You're just deporting people who you think look like gang members. And if you start deporting every shady-looking guy with questionable tattoos, I mean, who's going to go to Jets games? But, you know what? I'm sure Donald Trump has the cultural understanding to carefully discern who is a member of, what's that gang name again?
Tren de Arguay.
Yeah, you guys are There's another problem with invoking this law, which is it's supposed to be used in wartime. So to make this work, Trump had to pretend that we're at war with Venezuela, which we're not. Not to mention, a pretend war is an extremely complicated concept to throw at the Secretary of Defense on St. Patrick's Day. So, man. Okay, so bottom line here. Okay, there's a lot of legal questions up in the air. So on Saturday, a federal judge decided to pump the brakes.
That federal judge, in an emergency hearing Saturday, ordered any plane containing these folks that is going to take off or is in the air needs to be returned to the United States, adding this is something that you need to make sure is complied with immediately.
Oh, well, it was a good try, Donald, but the judge has ruled, and that's the way the system works. So, Trump brought the Venezuelans back, gave them due process, did the whole Constitution thing. I'm with you again. He ignored the judge.
The administration made a calculated decision to ignore a federal judge's directive to turn the flights around.
My God. I mean, if you had told me that Donald Trump would trigger a constitutional crisis just 7 weeks into his term, I would have said, that is a lot later than I thought. I mean, Donald showed a lot of restraint. I mean, Trump's really becoming presidential. Of course, the administration didn't just come out and say, we don't listen to judges from now on. They had the respect for the judicial branch to come up with some bullshit.
The White House argued that Boasberg's written order was issued when the planes were already mid-air and that his verbal order, some 40 minutes earlier, did not count.
It didn't count? Yeah. Is that how rulings work? You have to put it in writing, you can't just say it? Well, this is definitely not the first time that Trump has defended himself by arguing that oral doesn't count. Look it up. Look it up. Look, the judge wasn't terribly impressed with that argument, so Trump's lawyers went with another response, which was, can't catch me, force field.
The Trump administration argued that the court no longer had jurisdiction once the planes were over international waters.
Yes, okay, apparently the Constitution is not in effect over international waters. That explains Carnival Cruise Line's new ship, the SS Cruel and Unusual Punishment. And while the Trump administration is saying that it has the right to ignore judicial orders, President Trump himself is somehow going even further.
President Donald Trump just took to Truth Social and deemed this judge, responding to this decision here, calling him a radical left lunatic of a judge, a troublemaker and agitator who was sadly appointed by Barack Hussein Obama. He says this judge should be impeached.
So there you have it. Donald Trump went from, oh, sorry, we would have listened to this judge if we had heard it in time, to, actually, this lunatic judge should be impeached. And if you would have told me that all happened in 48 hours, I would have said, wow, again, longer than I expected. Now, some of you might be thinking, Jordan, enough about this constitutional crisis. I want to hear about another constitutional crisis. Well, you're in luck.
Last night, the president posted on social media, said, quote, the pardons that sleepy Joe Biden gave to the unselect committee of political thugs and many others are hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact that they were done by Autopen.
He's voiding Joe Biden's pardons. It's not enough that he's fighting the judicial branch in the present. He's also fighting the executive branch in the past. He's causing more problems in the multiverse than Jonathan Majors. But yes, I guess Donald Trump just found out about Autopens, which leads us to one of the most annoying events in a Trump presidency. Donald learns about something new, so we all have to learn about it too.
Presidents Biden and Obama both used an Autopen device to sign official documents, a practice that is legally binding.
The actual use of the Autopen dates back to Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson? I mean, I guess that makes sense. When you have that many secret kids, that's a lot of birthday cards you got to sign. Busy man. Now, to be fair to Trump, he's not just saying Joe Biden used an Autopen. It's something far more sinister. A conspiracy so evil that Trump took time out of his busy schedule waiting for the airplane bathroom to discuss.
The whole subject of Autopen, did he know what he was doing? Did he authorize it? Or is this somebody in an office, maybe a radical left lunatic, just signing whatever that person wants?
Yes. Good question. Did Joe Biden really sign the pardons that he said several times he signed? Or did a radical left lunatic sneak into the Oval Office and start signing whatever was in the room? Pardons, laws, doctor's notes, yearbooks. I mean, did Joe Biden really want Cindy to have a great summer, or was it the deep state? Yeah, my favorite part of this whole story is how Trump tried to claim that he would never use an Autopen, only to remember that he actually did use an Autopen.
I never use it. I mean, we may use it as an example to send some young person a letter, because it's nice, you know, we get thousands and thousands of letters, and letters of support for young people, for people that aren't feeling well, etc.
Yeah, if I'm doing important things like pardoning January 6ers, I'll sign it myself. But for doing stupid shit like writing letters to sick kids, DocuSign is fine. Like, either way, Trump basically just admitted that he doesn't personally sign any of the get-well letters he sends to young people who aren't feeling well. Now, obviously, that's not the important part of this story. What's important is the danger that...
Excuse me, Jordan.
What? Oh, Troy Iwata, everybody. Troy. I'm sorry, Troy, where are you right now?
Jordan, I'm at the hospital for young people who aren't feeling well. And you might not think that their feelings are important, but when these sick kids found out that Trump used an Autopen on their letters, their hearts broke. And they died.
What? Holy shit, all the kids died?
Well, no, there's still one hanging on, and he is being so brave. And, okay. There he goes. That was the last one.
Okay. Are we sure it was their broken hearts? It wasn't whatever medical condition they were dealing with?
No, a lot of them weren't even sick. Some had scrapes, some had a tummy ache, some had that fake get-out-of-school cough, you know, with the curled tongue, the that one. But no matter what it was, when they learned about the Autopen, their hearts just stopped working. Except for one kid whose life support cord I tripped over. That was my bad. And I said I was sorry.
Okay, look. Troy, I don't get this. Trump has been so cruel to sick kids. He's cut cancer research and medical services. He's threatening their health insurance. I mean, what do they love so much about Trump?
I mean, little kids just love tariffs, Jordan. I don't know, maybe some of them were racist. But the point is, they're gone now. No more little booger fingers, no more department store tantrums, no more screaming on airplanes. You know what? I'm kind of talking myself into this.
Troy, no. Troy, you're being very callous.
Sorry, you're right. Okay, some of these kids were 5 and 6 years old, so all they had at the end were their stuffed animals and their jobs at Doge. It was...
Well, you're right.
It's a real tragedy.
It is. You're right. I mean, I don't know how their families are going to live with this.
Well, fortunately, President Trump sent them all letters of condolence. He got a lot of them signed pretty quickly, and... Oh, wait, families, don't open those letters! Oh, shit, everyone's dead.
Everyone's dead. Tragic stuff. Troy Iwata, everyone.